Carl Sigmarsson was the first four-time world's strongest man. His countryman, Magnus from Magnuson, matched that feat and became a legend himself. Now it's Mariusz Pudzianowski who has joined their elite company. With his strength, power, and desire, the man from Poland has taken the sport to a new level. Mariusz Pudzianowski begins his quest for title number 5 as the world's strongest man continues next. Welcome to beautiful Charleston, the capital city of West Virginia, as it plays host to the Metrics World's Strongest Man. Group 4 begins their qualifying run with a loading race, the first of 6 tests of strength that they'll face today, Kaz. And it's a rough way to begin.
You're right, Todd. The strongman will have to carry 4 objects 12 meters apiece. The first 2 will be barrels that weigh 231 pounds. The next 2 will be 275-pound sacks. Remember, this is done while running in sand. The winner will need to combine power and athleticism with a lot of endurance.
Heat 1 features a local guy. This is Charleston's Brian Siders making his World's Strongest Man debut.
Brian's one of the best powerlifters in history, Todd, but this transition is going to be tough.
This is Lee Philippe of Canada, also a rookie.
Canada's pumped out a lot of great strongmen lately. He's somebody to watch.
And our final athlete, this is Brian Shaw of America.
At 6'8", Brian's a former basketball player. As he fills out that frame, he's somebody that's going to dominate.
So the first object, 231 pounds. Those kegs, they've got to move 2 of them.
John off to a quick start in lane 2.
Brian Siders in lane number 1 having some issues there.
And Brian Shaw cost himself 3 or 4 seconds trying to set that barrel.
Onto the second keg, also 231 pounds, and Brian Siders continues to struggle with placement. Jean, the Canadian, in the middle lane there. Now onto the sacks. These weigh 275 pounds, and Kaz grip is always a problem here. And look at Brian Shaw, manhandles it.
He's comfortable with it. A good long stride. He's making up some ground and time.
So it's American Brian Shaw in the black in the near lane. He is off to the biggest lead right now, and this is the final sack. This is 275 pounds, and this will be the time to beat if you can place it first.
Here's where fitness and conditioning is a question. He looks great.
53.73 seconds for the rookie from America.
Jean's got the sack in a nice position.
Makes it easier for placement, doesn't it?
He sure looks gassed.
106.92 for the Canadian. Meanwhile, Brian Siders, he's having real issues. I think that sand is just grabbing him. He doesn't know what to do with it.
He's a power lifter. Built to lift heavy weights, not run with objects.
Brian Shaw, in a time of 53.73 seconds, places all 4 objects. Louis Philippe Jean, just over a minute, 106.92. And then the American Brian Siders in his debut, one he'll certainly want to forget. Now it's heat 2 of the loading race. This is Lawrence Chalet of England, a first-timer at the World's Strongest Man.
He's not the biggest guy, but he's a tremendous competitor.
This is Norway's Errol Haugen making his second appearance at the biggest event in strength athletics.
22 years of age, he's made unbelievable progress.
And this is the 4-time champion, Mariusz Pudzianowski of Poland.
Mariusz knows everybody's getting better, but he's not going to let anybody catch him.
So the mark to beat is 53.73, put up by American Brian Shaw. And as expected, Mariusz Pudzianowski off to a big lead early.
Todd, you could say Mariusz is probably one of the greatest athletes ever in strongman at these type of events.
Making quick work of the 2 kegs, both of them weighing 231 pounds. Errol Haugen, though, in the middle, hanging with him, taking more of a slow, methodic pace. Now here's Mariusz under the 275-pound sacks.
A little bit different grip. He's carrying it kind of low. That's a tough load there. He's cost himself 3 or 4 seconds.
And Errol Haugen of Norway takes the lead. Now it's down to this final sack. Both men on great time, though. 53.73, the time to beat. And Errol Haugen has got the lead in better placement. And he's done it. Mariusz Pudzianowski will get second place, but your winner in the loading race, the man from Norway.
Todd, you wouldn't expect Mariusz to make big mistakes like that. He carried the sack way too low.
How about that, folks?
Second place for Mariusz, and for Lawrence Chalet, the first-timer from England, he will get 3rd place overall. Pudzianowski struggled with the first 275-pound sack. Haugen took advantage and never looked back. 5 of the 6 men in the group completed all 4 objects, but the best time belonged to Haugen. He got the win and earned 6 big points. Pudzianowski was second, third went to Chalet, while Shaw was fourth. We're on Kanawha Boulevard in Charleston, West Virginia for the second event for qualifying group number 4, the Fingal Fingers.
Todd, the 5 fingers range in weight from 440 to 705 pounds. The athletes need to pick up the fingers, press and push them into a vertical position, and send them crashing down. This is a true test of the modern strongman.
2 men have had their shot at the fingers. Laurent Chalet recorded a respectable score of 4 fingers in a time of 35.87 seconds. It was a struggle for Brian Siders. He finished with 2 fingers in 16.81 seconds and a scary-looking wound. The man taking on Brian Shaw is Canada's Lee Philippe. Now, Lee Philippe is in 5th place after the first event. Brian Shaw began training with weights to improve his basketball career. Now he's one of the most exciting prospects in strength athletics. He took 4th place in the loading race, but the Fingal Fingers cast seemed to be set up perfectly for him.
Todd, with a 6'8" frame, Brian can generate leverage needed to power right through the fingers.
The first finger weighs 440 pounds, and Shaw makes quick work of that. Both men now into the second finger, 495 pounds, and look at him go.
It sure takes a nice grip, Todd. I've never seen anybody handle the fingers like Brian Shaw is doing right now. This is really incredible. He's toying with it.
His 4th finger, 605 pounds. And the final one, this is 705 pounds.
God, he may lack experience, but he's walking right through the heaviest finger.
And he's done it, stopping the clock at 37.27 seconds, well ahead of his Canadian counterpart. Lee Philippe does get over the 4th finger of 605 pounds, but he has had enough. Brian Shaw, a tremendous performance, all 5 in 37.27 seconds. Well, that was textbook from the American. The big man from Colorado didn't have any difficulty getting through the fingers. Now the final pair, Haugen of Norway won the loading race.
Beating the 4-time champ head-to-head is a great way for him to start.
And Marius Pudzianowski comes to the Fingal Fingers in 2nd place, and that feels unusual to say, Kaz.
You're right, Todd. Marius usually dominates his qualifying group. There's plenty of time for that.
Hands on! This is an event where he won't be favored.
Absolutely. Brian Shaw's got the leverage, but these guys just don't have the height you'd want here.
Time to beat, 37.27 seconds, put up by American Brian Shaw moments ago. Marius Pudzianowski and Haugen both powering through those first 3 fingers. On to the 4th one. This is 605 pounds.
Pudzianowski's an absolute bull on the fingers, though. Even though he's lower, he pushes so hard, the finger just goes right up.
Haugen really struggling right here, Kaz, but he is not giving up.
Shouldering is the worst way to do it. And now Pudzianowski's got it on his shoulder.
This is the 5th and final finger for Marius Pudzianowski, 705 pounds. And he does get it to go over in a time of 47.76, but it looks like he may be injured, Kaz.
It might have cost him. Being flat-footed and pushing from that position, he didn't seem to use his calf, and there's something wrong. Haugen's struggling. He just gives up.
So Errol will be credited with 4 fingers in a time of 39.47 seconds. But the big story is Marius Pudzianowski is off to seek treatment. And he's definitely favoring that right leg.
That's the heart you'd like to see from a champion. Marius was obviously injured, but found a way to topple the massive 705-pound finger. But that could have cost him. Those might be his title hopes right out the window.
Brian Shaw accepts some congratulations for his win in the Fingal Fingers. A great job by the rookie from Colorado.
Just over
5 fingers in 37.27 seconds. Got it done for Brian Shaw in the Fingal Fingers. Marius Pudzianowski was 2nd, but his injury is the bigger story. Laurent Chalet was 3rd. 4th place went to Haugen. Then it was Jean and Siders. 2 second-place finishes have the 4-time champion in 1st overall after 2 events. Haugen and Brian Shaw share 2nd. Laurent Chalet is 4th. Jean is in 5th, while Siders is in 6th. We're on Kanawha Boulevard as Group 4 moves on to the 3rd of 6 events in its qualifying round, the truck pole. But there are questions lingering about the headliner in this competition. Mariusz Pudzianowski has been diagnosed with a severely strained calf muscle, but he will continue to compete, so we'll keep an eye on that. Let's bring you up to speed on what has happened so far. In 5th place, recording a distance of 10.8 meters, Brian Siders of the USA. In 4th place, going a distance of 16.6 meters, Harald Haugen of Norway. In 3rd place, Lawrence Chalet of England, 19.95 meters. In 2nd place, Lee Philippe of Canada completed the course in the 50,000-pound load over 20 meters in a time of 106.40. Your current leader is Brian Shaw of the USA, 20 meters in a time of 43.69 seconds.
Ladies and gentlemen,
now we'll see how Mariusz Pudzianowski's calf will hold up at a 50,000-pound truck pull. Is a pretty serious test, Kaz.
Todd, I'm sure Mariusz has competed with more serious injuries than this strained calf muscle. In this sport, you've got to be able to deal with the pain if you want to achieve anything.
Ready?
So here's what Mariusz has to do: complete the 20-meter course strapped to 50,000 pounds in the time to beat 43.69 seconds, put up moments ago by American Brian Shaw. And Kaz, with a strained calf muscle, he is doing a tremendous job early on.
You're right, Todd. He had an awesome start. He really stretched out, pulled very hard with his arms, and look at those arms work all the way through the course, and his legs are doing just fine so far.
Mariusz has the 25 tons rolling now, and you look at those massive arms. He is using mostly upper body cast. He's down to the last 5 meters.
Lots of legs, too. Great concentration.
And Pudzianowski has done it as he falls to the ground. He has won the truck pull, but at what cost? His time, 39.22 seconds to get the win.
39.22 for Mariusz Pudzianowski. He wins the
Todd, when you've got arms the size of Mariusz's, you don't even have to worry about your legs.
He will lead.
You know, it didn't even seem like he gave the pain a second thought until he crossed the finish line.
And that is precisely why he is a 4-time World's Strongest Man champion.
5 meters to finish.
And there is Mariusz's take on his injury. So Pudzianowski is the truck pole winner at a time of 39.22 seconds. Brian Shaw took 2nd. Lee Philippe was 3rd. Chalet, Haugen, and Siders were 4th, 5th, and 6th, respectively. We finally see Mariusz Pudzianowski in his familiar spot at the top of the standings. Shaw is 2nd. Then it's a tie for 3rd between Chalet and Haugen. And remember, just 2 of these men will move on to the final. Who's going to advance to the final? Whose time in Charleston will end? We'll find out when the Metrics World's Strongest Man returns to West Virginia after this. Mariusz Pudzianowski's march to an unprecedented 5th title seemed to be in serious jeopardy with a strained calf muscle. But for his rivals who questioned whether or not he was vulnerable, Pudzianowski had a champion's reply and showed he's not going anywhere. With 2 positions available in the final and qualifying group number 4, it's time for the other contenders to show that they have the ability and the desire to get there. The Metrics World's Strongest Man continues next. Welcome to the biggest and best event in strength athletics, the Metrics World's Strongest Man. The home of the 2008 edition is Charleston, West Virginia. We're at the Capitol Complex as Group 4's qualifying round continues. Hello everyone, I'm Todd Harris along with Bill Kazmaier. The 4th of 6 events facing the group is the squat lift.
Todd, this is one of the oldest measures of human strength, but we've put a 21st century spin on it. The opening lift is 585 pounds. After a good lift, more weight is added. This continues all the way up to the 7th repetition, which would be at 800 pounds.
And let's see what's happened so far. Brian Shaw had his turn with the squat lift. The impressive rookie struggled for the first time. Shaw could only complete 4 reps in a time of 18.50 before bowing out. Four-time champion Mariusz Pudzianowski was worried about re-aggravating his calf injury.
One step, bend my legs out.
You know.
The Polish strongman wasn't going to take a risk. As soon as he felt pain, he called it quits. Pudzianowski's results, 4 reps, 13.77 seconds.
Your attention, please, from Canada, Lee Philippe.
Up next, this is Lee Philippe. Now, the rookie from Canada is in 5th place overall, but very much in contention for one of the 2 spots from this qualifying group in the World's Strongest Man final.
Lee Philippe has a squatter's body. At 6'4" and 320 pounds, he's got the core strength that he needs, the huge legs, and nice form.
Successful at 650 pounds. Now he's on to 685. No problem there, Kaz.
He's laying the power to this, Todd. Great concentration. I don't think he's ever felt this apparatus before.
Good at 750. This is the final one for 800 pounds. He's got it.
With a broad smile, I think he's happy with that, Todd.
33.66 seconds becomes the mark to beat in the squat lift.
From Canada, Lee Philippe, 7 lifts.
Up next is Brian Siders, the local favorite from Charleston. It's been somewhat of a rocky start for Brian, but Kaz, this is an event I'm sure he's looking forward to.
No doubt about it, Todd. Brian's got a rich history in powerlifting. He's one of the most decorated guys. He owns a number of the records. He's a great squatter. Although this apparatus is going to be a little bit different. He's used to a free weight bar. He's inside of a rack now, and it's much, much different.
Good squat. Good squat. Good squat.
Making 620 look very easy.
I see a real close stance. His feet are tight together. I'm not sure if he can get all of his power into this rack.
Good at 750. Now this is the 800. This is the final one.
Gosh, Todd, that's a little surprising to me. I think he's just unfamiliar with this equipment. He's handled a lot more weight than that.
Fitted with 6 reps and a time of 20.42 seconds for Brian Siders. Harold Haugen made his World's Strongest Man debut 2 years ago, and it was immediately obvious that this explosive and powerful youngster could be a future champion.
I love this guy's attitude. If Harold stays focused and continues to improve, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if he doesn't win a title or 2.
Well, Harold enters the squat lift in a tie for 3rd in the overall standings.
Ready? Rack out, squat. Good squat. Squat.
Boy, he makes 620 look easy, Kaz.
I think that he's in a mindset where he's got an empty carriage behind him.
Squat.
It's not even a strain.
Squat.
This is a big one, 750.
Perfect form.
Harold Haugen completes the rack in a time of 26.09 seconds and doesn't even look stressed.
A man with a lot of confidence, really happy to be here, going to be a champion someday.
Well, it's as if the 7 lifts of over 4,800 pounds didn't even bother him. He does it in 26.09 seconds. Now to the final competitor in the squat lift. You're not going to be able to question the intensity of England's Lawrence Chalet.
Okay, Lawrence, take position.
He looks pretty serious about this.
That's an attitude I can appreciate.
Okay, rock out, squat.
Oh, Kaz, what happened there?
Could have been that dislocated toe he suffered in the truck pull. Make that right leg wobble, I don't know.
Remember the mark to beat, 26.09 seconds to complete the rack put up moments ago by Harold Haugen. And after a slight bobble to start things off, Kaz, he's got a nice rhythm going.
Lots of power. Good hip drive, plenty of leg strength.
This is it. And he just edges out Harold Haugen, 25.67 seconds.
He's still fired up.
Lawrence Chalet wins an impressive time. Once he recovered from the problem with the first rep, there was never any doubt Lawrence would complete the rack. Lawrence Chalet, Harold Haugen, Lee Philippe all complete 7 reps, but Chalet does it in the fastest time for the win. Brian Siders was 4th, Mariusz Pudzianowski 5th, and Brian Shaw 6th. After 4 of 6 events, Pudzianowski leads with 18 points. Chalet is 1 point back in second. Haugen just 2 off the lead. Then it's Shaw, Jean, and Siders. Keep in mind, only 2 of these 6 men will move on to the final. The 5th event for group number 4, the axle press. And let's show you what happened in this event. Garnering 6th place points, Lawrence Chalet with just 2 lifts. In 5th place, Brian Shaw of the USA got 6 lifts. In 4th place, Errol Haugen of Norway, 9 successful lifts. Tied for 2nd place, Brian Siders of the USA and Lee Philippe Jean of Canada each got 10 lifts. And winning the event with 11 amazing lifts, Mariusz Pudzianowski of Poland. The axle press is only Mariusz Pudzianowski's 2nd win in the first 5 events. Brian Siders and Lee Philippe Jean tied for 2nd. 4th went to Errol Haugen. Brian Shaw finished a disappointing 5th. So Mariusz Pudzianowski's 24 points guarantees he'll reach the final. Haugen is 2nd, Chalet's 3rd, Shaw's in 4th, and in 5th it's Jean. All 4 men have a chance of claiming the 2nd berth in the final. This is our final event for Group 4, the Atlas Stones.
Todd, the athletes need to pick up the 5 stones, which range from 220 to 400 pounds, and place them on the platforms. This World's Strongest Man Classic is a supreme test of overall body strength.
Charleston's Brian Siders had a rough time with the Atlas Stones. His World's Strongest Man debut ends with 3 stones in a time of 39.43 seconds. Canada's Lee Philippe Jean entered the Atlas Stones with a very remote chance of advancing to the final. But his result of 4 stones in 16.73 seconds will likely leave him on the outside looking in. On to our next heat for American Brian Shaw. This event will decide his fate. Shaw currently is in 4th place overall, but a big result here certainly propelled him up the leaderboard. Meanwhile, Mariusz Pudzianowski of Poland has locked up his position in the final. And it's there where he'll try to become the first 5-time champion. As we look at the current overall standings, you can see that Shaw will need to finish at least 1 place ahead of Lawrence Chalet and 2 spots ahead of Errol Haugen in order to advance. Haugen is certainly in the driver's seat. So Brian Shaw on the right going head-to-head with the 4-time World's Strongest Man champion, Mariusz Pudzianowski. Now, Mariusz doesn't need the victory here, Kaz, but he certainly looks like he's going all out.
That's what a champion usually does, Todd. I think he's using it for a workout and warm-up for the final.
Both men under the 5th stone. That weighs 400 pounds. And Mariusz has done it in a very impressive time, certainly sending a message. All 5 stones, 21.95 seconds. He is the current leader. For Brian Shaw, a good time, 24.81 seconds. Currently in 2nd, but will it hold up?
Todd, I think Mariusz is just trying to send a message here that he's ready for the final. Brian's really going to be devastated. Not beating Mariusz really hurts his chances to go to the final.
It's a chance to defend his title.
So for Errol Haugen and Lawrence Chalet, the scenarios are simple. Win the Atlas Stones and you are into the final. Or win this heat and beat the time put up by Brian Shaw of 24.81 and you're in. Bottom line, Kaz, destiny in your own hands here, and that's exactly what these guys like.
Ready?
This is what they trained for. This is why they came to the show. They want to make the final. They want to be the world's strongest man. They really have to put it out right here.
Errol Haugen already under that 3rd stone, 265. He is flying through here, Kaz. That's a 310-pound stone. He is manhandled. This one, 400 pounds, and he has done it. Errol Haugen crushes the competition. 16 seconds, all 5 stones.
That's a championship-type performance.
And Lawrence Chalet just trying to get to that massive 5th stone, 400 pounds. The grip's not there, and he knows it's done, but he gave a great performance.
I also showed
How about him, folks? Lawrence Chalet of England.
So Errol Haugen stepped up to the plate, and look at that time. 16.14 seconds. Talk about sending a message. You'd think placing 5 stones with a combined weight of close to 1,500 pounds would leave you breathless. Not so for Errol Haugen. Errol Haugen wins the Atlas Stones with 5 stones in a remarkable time of 16.14 seconds. Mariusz Pudzianowski was nearly 6 seconds back in second place, and third it was Brian Shaw. Then it was Jean, Chalet, and Siders. For American Brian Shaw, a very strong rookie performance. I'm sure he'll be a factor again. Mariusz Pudzianowski wins the qualifying group. Errol Haugen is second. We'll see both men in the final. Brian Shaw came up short, but showed the hype surrounding him was real. Chalet, Jean, and Siders round things out. So Mariusz Pudzianowski and Errol Haugen become the 7th and 8th members of the field of 10 that will compete for the title. That'll do it for the Metrics World's Strongest Man. For my colleague Bill Kazmaier, I'm Todd Harris saying so long from West Virginia and the capital city of Charleston.